2.
User joined your channel.
Okay, so I'll start with Tiger 1, I guess. He had to quickly hop out. So from his perspective, he didn't really have much fun. Didn't feel like they got called in as much as they could have been. What else did they say? They also didn't really like the flight model of the helicopter. It was a bit scuffed. Like there was obviously some things that were up with it, especially when you try to land and it looks like you're, doing a backflip. So yeah, that's it from their perspective. Now, from my
User joined your
perspective,
channel.
Man and Boyd's as Tiger 2. Honestly, I think it's one of the best operations I've had this year. I really enjoyed myself tonight. I honestly don't have any negatives. Like I was recording the whole thing, and it was just honestly a blast. Like all the rocket runs and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it was just overall a great time. So that's it from me.
Cool.
Real quick, Hobbs, do you know when you're gonna put that recording up?
I'm gonna edit it first.
All right. Just make sure to tell me when it gets put up, please. Damn.
Okay, maybe I will.
Okay, cool. Bear?
So, most of any criticism I would have of this is basically from an Alpha Company pilot perspective. I got handed a pretty shitty hand here. The flight model is absolutely terrible. Random explosions, absolutely terrible. This has nothing to do with the architecture of this Warfare Wednesday. Good concept, just in practice, I'm not sure if it was the best possible thing to do. There was some confusion and chaos to begin with, but that's okay. I'm not speaking for infantry. I'm speaking for somebody that flew the Mi-8. It's absolutely garbage. The worst helicopter I've ever flown in my life. There was no nav equipment. I would just mention that. Maybe that was part of the whole concept. There was no available hill. I'm not usually in favor of any Zeusing like cheats or tricks, but there was no even hill option available. So you really had to go back, reconfigure all your radios, respawn, all that kind of stuff. I could not find it. Maybe I'm wrong. That's pretty much about it. I mean, it was a good concept. It was fun, but it was kind of like milsim porn a little bit. It was just fun, but it was good. It was a good idea.
That's a new phrase.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to laugh.
Hey, make sure everybody understands. This is not a knock on the architecture of what was designed. It's like a pilot speaking, like from Alpha. Like Mi-8 is horrible. So.
Yeah. No. The whole idea was that because the problem was that you had to fill in for Cinco, who had to step out at last minute. Because one of the things I did say on there was, be familiar with the flight model, but since you came in at last minute, you didn't have a chance to do that. And, this isn't, like I said, this is no one's fault. It's just a bad hand. I'm sorry you had to go through that, because even if you say it's nothing on the mission, it's, I still feel, but, I understand where you're coming from, and I get that. And hopefully next time we'll be able to avoid something like this, so we don't have someone hopping into a position that, they are completely not ready for.
Can I say one last thing real quick?
Of course.
I just wanted to say, as a pilot that represents Alpha Company, if you get a really crappy helicopter that's not tested and proven, it's always going to be, if the bird goes down, it's always going to be Ham. It's Ham's fault, right? There's no knock on infantry. It's just going to be, the pilot's name is going to be attached to it, right? So, I'm like, oh, guys, I can't really help it. This helicopter fucking sucks. But anyway, that's the last thing. Good job.
Sorry, moving on.
Yep, let's go with 7.
I think McMaster's not here. He literally gave me the comment that it was good all round before he left.
Okay. Atlas 2, 1. Good talk. Gunslinger Okay. Gunslinger 4.
Yeah, so there were only 2 cav guys on the squad. Upper was the actual squad lead, who I think tried to do a good job, but I think we had a lot of trouble with a good half of the squad just kind of wanting to kind of wander around and do their own thing, which really compromised on us being like remotely effective at doing literally anything. So yeah, like about half the squad wandered off at some point, and last we heard of them was them calling over their radio asking for medics after they had like left the shack and were like a valley away in some unknown direction. So yeah, it was speaking from like the ground perspective as kind of acting as the Bravo team lead, and there it wasn't clear what we were doing a lot of times, and I didn't have a long range or anything, so I don't know what's going on the platoon net, but it seemed like a lot of information because I noticed a lot of the other squads seemed to be able to move with considerable intent to where they were going. So I think it was just an information issue within the squad. I like the mission as far as being different kind of gear, different time period, and whatnot. Having those limitations, and as well as something that's quite frankly a little bit different than what we normally do is we didn't just have for the second objective like here's a map marker, go to it, right? We knew there was enemy in an area and we're conducting movement to contact and kind of responding as appropriate during that time, and that's something I'd like to see more of generally. But I think it was just complicated for 4 by our bursting situation of the people we had. But on the whole, I didn't have a ton of fun with it because of that, but I did like the mission. I would like to see more like it that just get creative with the objectives and whatnot.